What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And today, guys, we are going to rank my 25 most anticipated horror titles for September and October. So I just got to thinking the other day, I was like, there's just so much incredible stuff coming out in September and October, even in the non-horror genre, even non-horror titles coming out in September and October. But I decided to kind of just zero in on all the horror titles that are coming out. There was 25 that I want. There's some other ones that I might get. I'm on the fence, but there's 25 that I know that I want to get and add to the collection. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of rank those in order of what I'm anticipating the most. And it was kind of cool to kind of just see like what came out above the other one when I was doing this the other night. It got really difficult, even when I got into the top 10 to kind of decide what was over the other. But I just thought this would be a fun video, and it would kind of just, you know, highlight some of the big stuff, some of the big horror titles that's coming out in the next couple of months, because we are getting to the end of August. Like this video if you haven't yet liked the video. I always appreciate you guys hitting the like button. It definitely helps out the video and the channel. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk physical media, Blu-rays, 4Ks on this channel all the time. And then, you know, comment down below, guys. I want to know what you're most anticipating for the titles that are coming out. You can give me your top 10, your top 15. You can give me a top 25 of your own. If you're excited for 50 Blu-rays that's coming out in September and October. And I thought I was going to do November as well, but I was looking, there's just not a lot. Scream Factory and Arrow hasn't done their November announcements yet, so there's not a ton there in that month, so I decided to leave November out of it. Let's get started. We're going to jump right into it with number 25. This one might shock you that I even want to add this to the collection, but it's The Munsters, coming out on Blu-ray from Universal on September the 27th. So of course I want to add this to the collection. Why? It's another Rob Zombie movie. It's a Munsters. It's probably only going to be like 15 bucks. So the question is, do I watch it on Netflix when it comes out, or I just wait for the Blu-ray to come in and watch it on the Blu-ray? I'll probably order it because I think it drops on Netflix the same day that it comes out on physical media. So I'll probably just wait to get the Blu-ray in and I'll watch it on Blu-ray, and surely I'll have something to talk about with that movie on this channel for sure. But The Munsters on Blu-ray is my number 25. Of course, I want to own it, but it's obviously the one that I'm least looking forward to as far as my excitement level. I just think that movie's going to be a train wreck. The next one we're going to talk about is an IFC Films release, and this is a Blu-ray that comes out on October the 4th. This is The Watcher. So this is a movie starring Maka Monroe, who I love from The Guest, from It Follows. I don't know what happened to her. She didn't really just take off like I thought that she should with those two movies, The Guest and It Follows. Great movies, and just like, it just doesn't seem like she really does a lot. I know she was like in the Independence Day Resurgence movie, but after that, her career seemed to tank. So The Watcher I'm interested in. I've heard some good things about it, so I'm definitely going to pick this one up for sure. October the 4th is when that one comes out. Getting into number 23 is one that I already got in the mail, and I got it from MVD to review, and this is Massacre at Central High. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Again, this is a Synopsis release, and it comes out on September the 13th. So I guess I should have took this one off the list, because I can't be anticipating it because I just got this in the mail today, but I made this list before I got it in the mail. So yeah, Massacre at Central High. Again, I don't know anything about it, so that's why it's number 23, but I'm looking forward to watching it. It seems like a cool like slasher horror movie from the 80s. Let's get into number 22. It's another movie I don't really know too much about, but Two Witches on Blu-ray comes out from Arrow Video on October the 18th. So really cool cover on this Arrow release. I know that, and it's like a big box set release. So I'm definitely excited to get it in the collection. Hopefully the movie's good, but it looks pretty cool. But I am definitely anticipating getting another really awesome, gorgeous Arrow box set release. Number 21 is Satan's Little Helper, coming out on Blu-ray from Synopsis on October the 25th. So this looks like a pretty cool movie. Now I looked at the actual like DVD cover from when it came out back in the day. It looked like one of those generic like Walmart DVDs. So I don't know too much about this movie. I have heard good things from people. But I'm looking forward to getting it. It looks like it has a cool cover. It's getting like a slipcover edition as well. If you want your slipcover on it, you can pay 10 extra bucks, because Synopsis apparently couldn't add a slipcover in to the regular release. They got to make you pay extra for it. God, people bitch about Scream Factory. What's going on with Synopsis there? Satan's Little Helper, though, I'm curious to check that one out for sure. October 25th, that's my number 21. Now let's get into my top 20. Number 20 is Trancers, coming out on 4K, Full Moon Features release, and this is coming out on October the 11th. So Trancers is a Charles Band film, the same guy that did the Puppet Master movie, so I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I haven't really collected a lot for Full Moon, and this is the first full moon features 4K that they have ever released. So it'd be cool to check it out and see how they do in the new 4K format. So that's my number 20. Getting into my number 19 is a movie that I have seen. This is Dracula, the 4K Steelbook coming out from Sony on October the 4th. So I've seen this movie, but I do not own this in 4K. I know it does have a 4K release already, but I don't own it in 4K. So I'm looking forward to getting this in 4K and watching it. And that Steelbook looks awesome. I know it's just the poster of the movie, but it looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to Dracula on 4K. That's my number 19. Getting into my number 18 is a movie with Katie Holmes in it. Who would have thought a movie with Katie Holmes would crack my top 20 horror anticipated list? And the reason is because this Blu-ray has been out of print forever. It's like a 90s, early 2000s film. I'm not exactly sure when it came out, that I somehow missed. And this is Disturbing Behavior, and this comes out on Blu-ray from MVD Rewind on October the 11th. So I've heard good things about this movie. For whatever reason, I missed it. I watched a lot of these like teen horror thriller type movies. I even watched Teaching Mrs. Tingle, but I somehow missed Disturbing Behavior. By the way, though, Teaching Mrs. Tingle needs some kind of MVD Rewind or Shout Factor or Scream Factor release for sure. But Disturbing Behavior, I'm definitely looking forward to getting this one from MVD. I love collecting the MVD Rewind titles for sure, and that comes out on October the 11th. The Funhouse 4K from Scream Factor. This comes out on October the 4th. So I have not seen the Funhouse, but again, I'm kind of committed to at this point. You'll see as we go further down the list to collecting all of the new Scream Factor 4Ks, especially the ones that I don't already have in the collection, because it's kind of like a second chance for me to go back and collect the Scream Factors and get them with a slipcover now, because I have not been collecting those since the beginning. But I've heard good things about this, and from what I hear, visually, this is going to look amazing in 4K. So I am looking forward to this, but of all the Scream Factor stuff that's coming out, this is probably the one that I am least anticipating, only because I have not seen this movie. But it's hard to say that because there's other movies as we get further down that I am greatly anticipating and I haven't seen as well. So now let's get into my number 16, and this is Night of the Living Dead 4K coming out from Criterion on October the 4th. So I am looking forward to this. I do like Night of the Living Dead. I don't love it, but I feel like Criterion is really going to do a great job on this. And I've said it before, I love black and white movies in 4K. I just love how they look. There's just nothing like a good black and white 4K transfer. Just the depth that you get and that contrast level, the black and the white, it all looks amazing. Always looks crystal clear and amazing. So I'm really looking forward to what they do with this classic George A. Romero film in 4K. And Criterion usually always does a great job with their 4K transfers, and that's coming out on October the 4th. A lot of stuff's coming out October the 4th. Get your wallets ready, guys. These months are gonna be nuts. And we're just going over horror titles. Like, there's other stuff that I'm really looking forward to as well. So let's get into my number 15. Now, this might be a little controversial for some of you all, but the Halloween 6 through 8, Halloween Curse, H2O, and Resurrection on 4K from Scream Factory is my 15th most anticipated. This comes out on October the 4th. It's to the point where I know I'm going to get this. I just don't know if I'm going to get it right away. I have not even pre-ordered this thing. I'm going to see if it comes out. It might come out a little bit more on Amazon. I don't know. I don't really love any of these movies. It's different than the first 5 Halloween films because I really liked all those movies. I loved some of those movies. With these, it's like I like some of them, but I kind of don't like some of them. I don't know. It's a hard sell for me to get these movies on 4K. If I get them, it will be strictly to talk about it on this channel with you guys and just to add it to the collection because I'm such a completionist. But yeah, that's my number 15th. And my number 14 is I Know What You Did Last Summer on 4K from Paramount on September the 27th. So I do like this movie. I did not like it at all when it first came out. I always saw it as like a Scream ripoff and just kind of a lesser than slasher movie than Scream. I always enjoyed the Scream movies, and I just never really liked that I Know What You Did Last Summer. But I watched this a couple of years ago, again, for the first time in a long time, and it kind of grew on me a little bit. I learned to appreciate a little bit more for just that classic 90s slasher that it is. So I am looking forward to checking this one out in 4K. It's like got a 4th of July theme and aesthetic to it. You know, it's set near like a lake, and I just feel like visually this one is going to look pretty good in 4K. So I'm excited for I Know What You Did Last Summer in 4K. That's my number 14. Number 13 is the Ring Blu-ray Steelbook from Paramount, and that comes out on October the 18th. So I'm a big The Ring fan. I remember watching this in theaters and just it's scaring the living shit out of me. So I don't own The Ring on Blu-ray. I just have a DVD. I still have the DVD that I bought back in 2002, actually. And I never upgraded this to Blu-ray. So this will be the first time I get to have this on Blu-ray. And the Steelbook for this is amazing. I love the Steelbook. So I'm super excited to get this in the collection. So the Ring Blu-ray Steelbook is my number 13. Getting into my number 12. Might be another controversial one because a lot of people I think would have this in their top 10, maybe their top 5, but the Army of Darkness 4K from Scream Factory coming out on October the 4th. So again, Army of Darkness, I do really like a lot. That's the first Evil Dead movie I ever saw. I saw it in the drive-in theater. So I'm really looking forward to watching this movie in 4K. All the ones that we talk about from here on out, like I am really excited to get. It's just I have to rank them somewhere. But Army of Darkness, I am really excited to get. But to be honest, it's my least favorite of the Evil Dead franchise. It's my number 4 if I were to rank them, but that doesn't mean I don't love it or like it a lot. It's just it's my 4th favorite, so I can't put it up as high as some of the other ones. But Army of Darkness, I feel like this one's going to look really good in 4K as well. So yeah, that comes out on October 4th. Again, October the 4th is going to be an absolute nuts, crazy day. Videodrome coming out in 4K from Arrow Video on October the 24th is my number 11. Now this is a UK only title, so you're gonna have to import this one, which I don't usually do, but I'm gonna do it for Videodrome because I feel like Arrow is going to kill it with this transfer. And this movie already looks great, that Criterion edition that I have, but I feel like it's gonna look amazing in 4K. It's just visually, I just feel like just the aesthetic of it and the colors and all that. I just feel like this movie is really gonna pop in 4K, and I cannot wait to get it. So that's my number 11. Now let's get into my number 10. And this is probably one of, if not my favorite slasher sequel. Well, Child's Play 2 is probably my favorite, but this is probably number 2, and that's Scream 2 coming out in 4K from Paramount on October the 4th. So I am really looking forward to watching this one in 4K for sure. I feel like, again, I like Scream in 4K, but I feel like this one, just certain scenes and sequences are really going to pop in 4K. So Scream 2, I'm probably going to get the slipcover. I'm going to get a double dip with this on the slipcover. I'm at least going to get the steelbook because I think that steelbook looks amazing. I love the theater look on the cover of it. Such a great design. But Scream 2, I'm really looking forward to getting that one. The Fog on 4K is my number 9. That's coming out from Scream Factory on September the 13th. So I'm really looking forward to The Fog. This one is going to look incredible. I just know it. I feel like they're going to do a great job. And I know this already has a 4K studio can outbid it. I don't own it, so I imagine that's probably going to be the same transfer as this, but I don't own The Fog on any other format other than DVD, so I'm excited to get this upgrade, and The Fog is going to look fantastic in 4K. Admittedly, again, it's probably one of my least favorite John Carpenter movies, but he's got all bangers, so that's not really saying that this movie's bad. It's just saying it's probably my least favorite of all the ones that I've watched from him, but really looking forward to this one. Hopefully someday, guys, we get an In the Mouth of Madness 4K if they go back and do all the Carpenter movies in 4K. Hopefully we get that somewhere down the line. I really want that movie in 4K. But yeah, The Fog is my number 9. The Lost Boys in 4K from Warner Brothers on September the 20th is my number 8. And again, we're getting into the territory of some movies that I haven't seen yet. So I'm really looking forward to watching this movie for the first time. Again, I feel like I've seen pieces of it when I was a kid, but I have not seen this movie in its entirety as of right now. So really looking forward to checking out The Lost Boys for the first time in 4K. I feel like it'll look incredible. It's an 80s movie. It's got that like rock star, just like colorful 80s aesthetic. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard really good things about this movie. It's a vampire movie. It's got a great cast. So really looking forward to The Lost Boys, watching that one in 4K. I'm not excited about the slipcover that I'm going to get with the kids hanging off the bridge, but you know, what are you going to do? Let's get into my number 7, and this is one that I'm really looking forward to. This one just broke this week, and that's the Universal Monsters 4K Volume 2 box set. It's got Bride of Frankenstein, it's got Creature from Black Lagoon, The Mummy. I'm blanking on the other one, but it's got 4 Universal Monsters films in it. The first set, I loved that they looked amazing in 4K. Films from the 30s and the 40s looked absolutely incredible. So I am counting on the fact that these movies are going to look amazing as well. And that comes out from Universal on October the 11th. Now getting into my number 6. This almost made it to my top 5. This is where it got really hard, but I love Friday the 13th, and I am so looking forward to watching this in 4K from Paramount on September the 13th. So very excited. We're not gonna have to wait too long. This one's coming soon, but I am very excited, over the moon excited to check out Friday the 13th in 4K. I just feel like this one, I feel like people are sleeping on this one as far as a 4K transfer. I've heard people say, oh, how much better can Friday the 13th look? It already looks as good as it's probably gonna get. You got that 4K scan in the screen factor to get set. I understand, but I do feel like with the addition of that HDR, like some of the colors, that outside setting, the green of the leaves, just the blood and some of the gore scenes, I just feel like it's real. I feel like you are underestimating the Friday the 13th 4K. I think it's going to look amazing. I think Paramount's going to absolutely kill this 4K, and that's my number 6. Now, getting into my number 5 is another Scream Factory title. Scream Factory's got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of opportunities for potential screw-ups and grease in their releases and stuff. I know everybody's complaining about Scream Factory. I'm sure they'll have Atmos on the back that doesn't have Atmos or whatever Scream Factory does. But as long as the discs look amazing, I'll be fine. And my number 5 is The Return of the Living Dead on 4K, coming out from Scream Factory in October the 18th. So I watched this movie for the first time last year, absolutely loved it. And this one, visually, this is gonna look fantastic, and I cannot wait to see some of the scenes and sequences of this movie in 4K. I just feel like this one's really gonna pop. It's gonna look excellent. So Return of the Living Dead, I am excited. Again, I watched it for the first time last year, absolutely fell in love with it, so I'm excited to rewatch it again in 4K when it comes out on October the 18th from Scream Factory. Now, getting in to my top 4, my number 4 is Fright Night, and this is another movie that I've never seen before, but it's been hyped to the moon by everybody, and this is coming out on 4K, actually coming out on 4K, a 4K Steelbook only, coming out from Sony on October the 4th. So I feel like Sony's been doing that a lot recently. Paramount too, with the Event Horizon, they're releasing, 4Ks with just Steelbooks. So I'm not really sure what the strategy is there, like why they didn't do like the regular slipcover. I feel like they would sell more if they did both, but I don't know. Maybe they'll do a slipcover down the line, but I'm really looking forward to watching this movie. Could I watch it right now? Absolutely, but I knew this movie was going to come out in 4K, so I've just been waiting patiently to get to watch this for the first time in 4K. Again, another vampire movie. This is the year of vampire movies in 4K, but Fright Night on 4K, that Steelbook, that gorgeous Steelbook coming out on October the 4th. October the 4th is going to be absolutely crazy. Mark your calendars, get your wallets ready. But yeah, that comes out from Sony October the 4th. Now let's get into my top 3, and my number 3 may surprise you, but that is Paranormal Activity, the Ultimate Chills Blu-ray Collection. This comes out from Paramount on October the 11th. So I am ecstatic about this box set. When it was announced, I was like, this is a Scream Factory level box set coming out from Paramount. It looks beautiful. I love Paranormal Activity. I really like most of the movies that I've seen from the franchise. I know 4 is not the strongest, but the first 3 is like the perfect horror trilogy to me. I really like the marked ones. The Ghost Dimensions wasn't the best either, but I actually haven't seen the newest one that came out, the Next of Kin, that came out last year. And this one also includes the documentary about the making of the series. So really cool box set, and I am just so excited to get this and just crack it open and do an unboxing and just really break into it and watch every movie again. It's gonna be amazing. But Paranormal Activity, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. So coming out from Paramount October the 11th, and this is a pretty affordable price too for a box set with 8 movies in it, because you count that documentary as a movie. I think it's only like $55 right now. So that's a very affordable price for a Scream Factory level box set is what I'm calling it. Now let's get into, my number 2. My number 2 is Evil Dead 2013 on 4K. Coming out from Scream Factory on September the 27th. So I am so excited for this. I love Evil Dead 2013. It's definitely in my top 5 horror movies of the 2010s. I absolutely adore this movie. It is my favorite Evil Dead film, as controversial as that might seem. And I just didn't feel like they were going to do this one. So when they announced this with that incredible artwork on the cover, that classic poster, I got so excited. This is easily, after the Child's Play 4Ks, the most I've been excited for a Scream Factory title all year. I am so excited for Evil Dead 2013. So through the moon, over the moon, all of the moon, excited for Evil Dead coming out in 4K. I just feel like it's gonna look amazing. I'm just imagining that chainsaw kill and the raining blood and the fire in 4K. Are you kidding me right now? Oh God, Evil Dead 2013. That's my number 2. So you can only imagine. What's my number 1? I got so excited about all these titles. What is my number 1 most anticipated horror title for September and October? Well, I'm about to tell you guys is a classic horror film from 1982, and that is Poltergeist, coming out in 4K from Warner Brothers on September the 20th. So I love Poltergeist. It's definitely in my top 10 horror movies of all time. I adore this film. Such a great movie, such a great horror movie. It's one of those movies that when you're watching it, it feels like a family-friendly horror film, but then it just flips on you and it just gets so scary and terrifying. And again, you know, this was directed by Tobe Hooper, and I'm not one of those people that believe that Steven Spielberg directed this whole film like Tobe just stood around and did nothing. I really feel the influence of Tobe Hooper in this movie, but this definitely has like a Spielbergian quality to it, just visually and cinematically, just the cinematography of this movie. And I just feel like everything is really just going to pop in 4K. I just feel like they're going to do a great job of this. Warner Brothers usually has really solid 4K releases and transfers, so I am counting on them, fingers crossed, to deliver on Poltergeist, classic horror film. Another classic horror film that we need in 4K. We need The Exorcist next year, so definitely give us that, Warner Brothers. And that's the 50th anniversary next year for Exorcist. So hopefully Warner Brothers will deliver on that. But Poltergeist in 4K, I am so excited for that. That is my number one most anticipated horror title for September and October. So with that, guys, we are done. I thank you all so much for watching this video and kind of, joining me on this journey, just kind of getting excited for these horror titles. September, October, we're getting into the Halloween season. It's horror time. I am super excited. I hope you guys are too. So definitely like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below, guys, all the titles that you're excited about that's coming out September and October. Turn on those bell notifications and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.